back. Our next guest is the author of now 9 #1 bestsellers, including, yes, we can certainly applause for that, including Tuesdays with Morrie, the #1 best-selling memoir of all time.
And he's also a journalist and broadcaster, a screenwriter, a philanthropist, and so much more. He is back to tell us all about his brand new book entitled The Little Liar, which is now, as you just said, Lauren, #1 fiction book in all of Canada. Please welcome to the show, Mitch Albom. Welcome. Welcome.
Mitch, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
You have sold 40 million copies worldwide. Your books have been translated into 48 languages around the globe. But tell us, do you still get nervous when you sit down to start a new work?
I got nervous sitting down here. Maybe more than I do to sit down and start a new book, yeah. You always, but you have to write from the heart. And if you write from the heart, then whatever happens, happens.
This book is a journey, to say the very least. So if you can briefly tell us, what is this story about?
Well, I wanted to ask the question, what's the biggest lie you ever told? And what would you do to be forgiven for that lie? So I kind of created this epic love story between this young boy in Greece and this young girl who loves him. And this boy's never told a lie in his life. And when the Nazis invade their village during World War II, they find out about him and they decide to use him as a weapon. And so they separate him from his family and they say, if you just go on these railroad tracks and tell people that they're going to good homes and good jobs and everything, then you can go back to your family. And trusting them, thinking he's telling the truth, he does this for several weeks until on the last train, he sees his family and the girl that he loves being shoved into the boxcar, and he finds out that these cars are actually going to the concentration camps. So the first lie that he ever tells in his life is the worst lie that he's ever going to tell. And it follows him from that point for the next 40 years as he tries to be forgiven and as the girl tries to find him again to forgive him. So it's kind of a parable about truth and lying and forgiveness and hope.
Certainly. Now, faith is also a central theme in this and many of your works. Why did you decide to set this book during the Holocaust?
Well, because I wanted to ultimately write about hope. I've kind of been teased about writing hopeful books. There was once a critic who called me, he dismissed me, he said, oh, he's just a king of hope, which I thought was a pretty good throne to get stuck on, not bad. And I thought, well, if you're going to write about hope, set it during the most hopeless time. And, there's even a moment during the Holocaust portion of the book, which is only a portion, where the family in a concentration camp at night still gathers and says, everyone has to say one good thing that happened during the day. What good thing could possibly happen? So one of them says, well, I had an extra spoonful of soup. One says, well, my rotted tooth fell out. One says, the guard didn't beat me today. And that desire to still find hope and to look for something for the future is such an important message, particularly now. And so I thought if I said it during that time, it would resonate, in our time right now.
And speaking of hope and inspiration, you say that it was young people that inspired this book. Can you tell us that?
I say as I get older, adults make less and less sense to me. And children anybody over 5 doesn't really register. And I actually operate an orphanage in Haiti. I don't know if you know that or not, but I started it in 2000. Oh, there's all our kids. Okay. So I'm there every month for the last 14 years. And we have 65 kids that are there. We've got 12 that are now in college. And they have endured so much. And I have seen what they have endured. And so I took some of the trauma that they have endured, starvation, beatings, violence, abandonment, and put them into the characters in The Little Liar. I even let them read the book early because they're pretty good readers. We don't have TV, we don't have internet, we don't have phones, so they read. So I give them my books and say, well, before I put them out, what do you think? Should I make some edits? And I get some pretty good ideas from some of that, actually.
I know you made reference to conflict that is happening in the world right now, and you actually wrote The Little Liar prior to the conflict that has erupted between Israel and Hamas. And of course, the Holocaust is a big part of this book that you just wrote. How has the current conflict impacted the response to your new work?
People have said, how did you know to write this book at this time? And I said, I didn't. I started it several years ago. But I think the message about truth, it was a Nazi officer who said, a lie told once is always seen as a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. And that's a very dangerous thing. If you think, especially you were talking about social media just before, you think how fast a lie can travel around the world. And you hear it that many times, you start to think that it's true. So whether it's the conflict in the Middle East or any other thing, we live in a time where truth is in a very precarious position. And we need to value it more than ever before. So, you know, I think the book's probably timely now, but I wrote it because I wanted it to be timely for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mitch, you do so much. You are a best-selling author. You also write stage plays, screenplays, musicals, do all this philanthropic work. How on earth are you going to decide what to do next?
Well, you know, I'm a big believer in that expression, you know, man plans and God laughs, you know. So while I was planning to do something next, we were brought a child at the orphanage who was brought to us at 6 months of age, and she weighed 6 pounds. And she had nothing to eat in her life but sugar water. And so we rushed her back to America, hoping against hope that, you know, she would be okay, and started to feed her and get her a nutrition program. And she has blossomed into this amazing kid. And now my wife and I, in our 60s, are now parents to a little 2-year-old. So, you know. So basically, that's what I'm doing next. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now and next. I was just talking to her in your green room just before. Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Congratulations.
Well, children are at the heart of everything. They're a big reason that this book was written, and the hope that children give us and the love that they show for one another, which is an early part of the story, is something that I want to celebrate. So, you know, they find their way into my books, and they find their way certainly into my life, as they have.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all your stories, the real ones and this one as well. Mitch, thanks
You're welcome.
for being here. Thank you. The Little Liar is out right now. Please go check it out. Studio audience, you are in luck. You'll be able to take your own copy home today.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.